Hello, and welcome.
Welcome to the Rising Consciousness Show. This is our first official live broadcast for the show. We are so grateful to have you here. Today we are talking about the best summer ever. And we want to kick this off because summer is just around the corner. If you're catching this, we're recording at the beginning of June. And so we want you to have the best summer ever. We're going to break it down into 3 parts for you. Best summer ever. Best summer ever. And so we're here to help you create a really exceptional experience this summer, because I think after the last 4 or 5 years, people have gone through the ringer. There's been a lot of changes, a lot of ups and downs and lows and all sorts of crazy stuff going on. And we felt like it was time for a rejuvenation in our energy, in our essence, in our field, in our experience. And so this is why we're kicking off the Rising Consciousness Show with the best summer ever, and kicking you guys off with the best summer ever as you get ready to go into your best summer ever. We really want it to be best. So we're going to do a quick intro because this is the first time that you're catching us. My name is Tara Antler.
And I'm King Gabriel.
And we are the co-founders of Ascension Academy of Light, which is a global center, family-friendly center that specializes in meditation, intuition, development and expansion, manifestation, inner healing and relationship healing, and all the big, beautiful spiritual things of intuition and spiritual mastery and all the wonderful things that happen when you start to ascend and grow spiritually. And so we have clients all around the world. We have been doing what I call this non-work for 22 years. I'll be celebrating this August. Gabriel, I think 21 years. Somewhere there. We joined our businesses together when we found out that we were creating a family. So now we have our daughter Aria, who's 8, and the twin boys now are 5. And we joined our businesses together because of this time. Spirit, Creator, the Divine was telling us it's time to bring it together, create something evolved that honors our family and our time and our clients and the whole thing, because there were many moving parts in our life. And so that's how the Ascension Academy of Light got birthed, was actually when we got pregnant, or when I got pregnant.
When we got pregnant.
And we started having a family, and it's been so beautiful to work with tens of thousands of clients. Gabriel and I each have worked with tens of thousands of clients, one-to-one. We've spoken on stages as large as 2 million in India. Gabriel has shared the stage with Stevie Wonder. 26 million. Many millions. I lose track, because after 2 you're like, I have no idea, right? And Gabriel shared the stage with Stevie Wonder, Black Eyed Peas, Michael Beckwith. I've shared a movie stage with Jack Canfield, John Gray, Marcy Shima, and some other amazing experts. And so we've done so many amazing things. We've been published authors, we have our own magazine. I could go on and on and on and on. But just to say, we are here to be of service. We have worked with many clients. We are all about transformation. And so we want you to have a transformative experience while you're here tuning into the show. Every episode is going to bring another flavor, another piece to help you really create your own inner happiness and create a life that's really exceptional and thriving. That's really what we're about. It's creating a thriving life. Anything else you want to add to that before we dive on in?
I think it's perfect. I do want to say though that the idea of creating a thriving life is what we're really about, as Tara said. And that looks like really looking at your vision and helping you to achieve that fully. Right? So that's what we're doing here.
So we're going to create a vision, kicking off the best summer ever with a little visioning. And before we go into this, we would love for you to hit the subscribe button, because we're just getting this show going and off the ground. We love your support. Hit the subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up, please. Our kids, they're like, just tell them, hit the subscribe button and like it. Like and subscribe. It's not by you, Dave. Say that. This is where we are, right? So I really appreciate that. So we're kicking off the best summer ever, and we're going to bring it down to 3 parts. Let's start talking about the best. So if you have a notepad or a journal handy, pad and pad, a piece of paper, we want you to start with defining what does the best mean to you. Because what the best means to me and to Gabriel could be totally different than what the best means to you. If you ask our kids what the best in that is going to be something very different than what I imagine best. Although there is some mindset. Definitely the ice cream, parks, the play place, bowling, swimming, houseboating, fishing with Nana and Papa, picking berries, lots of candy, berries, berries. They're all berry right now. And lots of play.
Yeah.
And probably a rose already been asked. That's the best would be to Aria. We want you to define what the best would be to you. Take a moment, journal it out, and after you're watching the replay, pause the video. What does the best mean to you?
And let's bring in the idea of best. A little bit like condition, right? It's good. We know where it's good is, right? There's all right? There's better than the last comparative, and then there's superlative, best, right? Best meaning on the whole timeline ever had. This one stands above the rest, right? This one, the one. What does that look like?
When you think about the times in your life, there are moments in time that really stand out, right? We all have moments in our history and time where something stood out. You're like, best sandwich I've ever had. Best. Honestly, best. Rum raisin ice cream I have ever had. I have a first and a second best. Best I've ever had was in Trinidad.
Yeah, no,
By far, best rum raisin ice cream I've ever had.
Best roti, best curry, best pilau. Oh no, lots of best.
Best vegan shark. So many best in Trinidad. Many best there. Second best would be had the rum raisin ice cream in Mexico. This is great because now you get to see what is best and what's average or like good. So you have things like that in your life. It could be a type of food that was the best. It could be a relationship that was the best. It could be a place that you traveled that was the best. It could be a memory, an experience as a family that was like the best experience. It could be a simple moment, like a giggle and a laugh. You know, I think about that picture of Aria when she was first out of like womb, like maybe a month, and she's in this like she's wrapped up in a little swaddle thing, and she had this like a mudra she was doing. Remember, she was like this as a little Buddha, you know, a little Buddha. She had her eyes closed and a little smile on her face. Best thing ever, right? So it could be a moment. It could be a moment in time. It could be a memory. It could be a flower. I think about the flowers. I have my best flowers. I don't just have a flower. Best flowers. There's so many things, right? So we want you to get really clear on what is the best for you. Best experience. Best. What does that feel like to you? Is it a memory? Is it a feeling? Is it a thought? Is it an experience? Something that in time you would want that to be bookmarked. That's one of those moments that you're going to come back to and be like, yes, best, right? Like we can have these memories and be like, best food experiences in Trinidad, right? Best. So that's the best. Part two.
Gotta mention the best doubles too.
Oh, no, I did. Best doubles was definitely in Trinidad. We tried other places and it doesn't compare. Second part of this is the summer. Okay? Summertime. Take a moment and feel into summertime. Now, this is all contextual because if you are, we have friends that are still in Mexico. If you're in Mexico right now, as it's coming into summer, summer gets really hot in Mexico.
If you like the heat,
it's great.
But if you don't like the heat,
it's intense. It's intense. So for them, as they think about summertime, that's a very different context than maybe us being back here in Canada. Summertime in Canada is a completely different context than summertime in the tropics. And we've had summertime in the tropics. Trinidad and in Mexico, it's hot. It's very hot.
I love it.
I don't like it so much. It's too intense for me. I just sit and sweat and sit and sweat and no energy whatsoever. It's
cleansing
too much.
all the time, feeling good.
It's too much for me. So think about summertime for you. What feels so good for you? If you could dream into, this is your vision opportunity. If you could vision into summertime, and you're like, I love summer because I have had the best summers doing what? Like for me, when I think about some of my best summers so far have been houseboating, really great music, great playlists, barbecuing, something so simple. I love barbecuing. I love the smell of the barbecue, the sound of the birds, the heat, the music playing in the background, even now the kids playing and you hear them in the background.
That's a really beautiful, best summer experience for me. Houseboating was always a best summer experience because when we were kids, my mom and dad, they're entrepreneurs, or were entrepreneurs, or retired now, but I think their entrepreneurial spirit never really goes away. It doesn't retire. And so for them, sorry, I have a little hair in my mouth. They had a lot to do in the summertime because it was a lodge where there's cottages, campgrounds, houseboats. It's busy. Summertime is their jam. When you own a lodge, that is the season. So you have to be working. So for us, it was great because we'd take our bikes, we'd be down in the campgrounds, we'd go swimming. I have my little red ghetto blaster, dating myself a little bit, my little red ghetto blaster with my cassette tapes. And the only time that we were able to get away as a family in the summertime, while all of my other friends would go away with their families in the summertime, was we'd be able to get away on the houseboat for a couple days. They had a houseboat, they owned a houseboat. And so it was easy. You pack up, grab everything, load it onto the houseboat, and away you go. And I have so many memories of my mom reading a magazine, the music in the background, my sister and I suntanning with my mom, my brother and my dad fishing off the back or the front, hooking up the houseboat. I have so many core memories that for me, that's summertime. The smell of the air, the sun, the sound of the birds, just everything about nature in Northern Ontario specifically represents summer to me. Whereas someone else, summer might mean traveling to Europe.
For me, summer was simple, right? For me, summer was training, right? We were training in some form of athletics and getting better, making progress in areas that matter and feeling good about that too. In the sun, in the sun and loving it. And so for me, that's summer. And that feels good to me, actually. It feels real aligned with me. It doesn't have to be all the other things, but doing that rhythm of that it seems monotonous, but that continuous movement towards a goal, that there's inspiring to me for summer. Yeah. That's what summer.
And see how we have different experiences of summer.
Yeah.
So we want you to feel into your summer. What are those core memories? What are those core feelings? What are those core experiences of the summer for you? Because there are things like some people love barbecuing, fishing, camping, cottaging, traveling, going out to new cafes, going out to new restaurants, exploring cities, meeting up with friends for coffee, going to summer concerts. That's another one for me. Whenever I think about summer concerts, especially in Mattawa, Northern Ontario here, there's this big pier that goes out, or a piece of land that goes out, and you're surrounded like almost 360 degrees by water. And the Laurentian Mountains on the Quebec side would echo the sound back. It was so incredible because, and you'd see these amazing bands like Blue Rodeo and Trooper, we're here for a good time, not a long time. So have a good time. The sun can't shine every day. And as you've got thousands of people on the point listening to this music that's echoing off the mountain, and you've got the sunshine and the water, like that's classic summer. When we were in Mexico, remember I said there's some Canadians over there. And the reason why I knew was because they were listening to Tragically Hip, which as Canadians, this is like classic music and a band that every Canadian knows, Tragically Hip. And it reminded me, it took me right back to summertime. So you all have that too. Like summer represents something for you. What is that? Write it down, vision, journal, write it. Because if you really want to create the best summer ever, sometimes we have to just take a moment and create it consciously. It's not just about haphazardly falling into it and being like, well, I hope it's the best summer ever. And then it just ends up being a total like gong show. You know what I mean? Sometimes, many times, especially when it comes to manifestation, you want to set the course. It's like having a vision board or a dream journal. You want to set the course. You have certain intentions in mind. You have certain goals in mind. So take that time now and create that consciously. Feel into the summertime. What are your summer vibes? What do you want them to be? Kickstart the creative engines now so that you don't just happen to, well, it was okay. Because summer's going to go like that. Time is going to go like that. And before you know it, you're like, oh my God, it's August. I haven't done anything for the summer. Right? And then all of a sudden people are racing, trying to have the best summer ever when summer's already on its decline. Anything else you want to add to that?
No, that's perfect for summer. I think we move into ever now.
Ever.
Concept of ever. And let's just see what ever has in it. Ever. Now,
it has an E.
It has an E. It has a V, an E, and an R, right? Yeah, I believe so. But ever, right? Ever is in all time that ever existed. And I'm using ever to define ever, which is something not supposed to happen, but we're going with it anyway. Ever. of all time, this particular part that you're looking at is unique, right? So you're looking at ever of all time, and maybe even outside of time, we're thinking about, we could go into the concept of eternity here a bit. This thing stands out, and it is lit. It is glowing. It is unique. It is special. Ever. There's nothing like it anywhere else. All right, that's how I see it.
Yes.
How do you see ever?
I'm with
How
you.
do you see ever?
No, I'm with you. And you know, it's interesting because that phrase, like I say this all the time, you know, even before we go to bed, we have this little prayer that we say with the kids. And then we just started recently saying, and let tomorrow be the best day ever. And sure enough, those days end up being a really exceptional day. So you can create the best experience ever, the best summer ever. And it could get better and better and better and better. I've had many best summers ever. And they keep getting better and better and better and better because I'm consciously choosing that. Even in the midst of chaos sometimes, even in the midst of a lot of crazy stuff going on, you could still have a best experience ever because of your mindset, because of your emotions, because of the direction of your consciousness. You actually could lift yourself up out of crazy situations and still have a best experience ever. That when you look back on that time period, you're like, wow, even though there were challenges, it was still the best summer ever. Even though I went through that, it was still the best summer ever. You know, I think about heartbreak sometimes, you know, like I went through a few heartbreaks when I was younger in my early 20s. And it was still the best summer ever. Even though there were heartbreaks that happened, it was still the best summer ever because so many amazing things happened in that time period. So I use that as an example because I know a lot of people may be moving through some things. And you can still have, even if there's challenges, you could still have a best experience ever. But it does come down to your consciousness, what you do with time, right? What you do with time and how you show up, how you set the stage. So for me, ever it's like this expansive thing that it's etched in time, right? It's a moment in time. Even though I know time can feel like an illusion and it can move and it can warp and it can change and all sorts of crazy things with time. We don't want to be confounded or bound by time. And yet at the same time, you can influence and impact time.
Yep.
Right? So I don't want to just have an average summer. I don't know about you. I want to have the best summer ever. I want to have the best life ever. And I believe that if we can take these chunks of time, right? So we say summer or a month or a day or a week, you start practicing from those shorter periods of time. That's how you lead into having the best life ever. But we got to start somewhere. And I think sometimes people are afraid to start because of maybe disappointments. So let's refresh and reset whatever has been and reset now with these 3 very simple steps. Best summer ever. And how do you want ever to be? Because it will be etched in your mind, just like painful memories get, locked in our mind sometimes, and then we have to go clear them and clean up. Positive memories stay in our mind too. Like when you hear that song and it reminds you of the summer of, think about Bryan Adams, the summer of 69, you hear that song and you know that that represented something to him. So much so that he wrote a song about it. You think about the song Sitting on the Dock of the Bay. That song was inspired from somewhere, under the boardwalk, right? You think about the words to it. That was an experience that got etched in time that we now get to have the experience of. So you get to carve out this experience however you want it to be and have time be however you want it to be, because you will remember it. One way or the other, you'll remember certain aspects of this summer. What do you want to remember?
Yep. And it being the best summer ever, to bring it all together, is it being the greatest experience of summer that you've ever had. The beauty about it, like Tara said, though, is even though it's the best now, as you go on, you may be able to increase your general vibration and have even better than that. And that'll be a new best, right? So you'll continue to upgrade and you'll continue to have even better ones, better than your best. And you'll have a new best, right? And that new best gets to carry you through all the rest of your experience if you choose. And you might have the best experience of life you've ever had from this little segment of time that you're carving out right now, right? You could probably go on with a real nice trajectory. Yeah.
And so if you
I see.
want to continue this conversation of the
Yeah.
best summer ever, we have 2 invitations for you. 2. I know a lot of times they say just have one invitation, but I got 2 for you today. We have the best summer ever retreat coming up in a couple weeks. So we have room for a couple more people. It's here in Northern Ontario.
Literally 4 more people right now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
If you want to come and join us, you can come and join us by simply typing the word retreat or find us somewhere on social media. We'll put some links below this video.
Yeah.
You can come and find us on social media and inquire about the retreat. The other thing that we have going on coming up in a few days is we have the best summer ever event, and it's free, completely free for 3 days.
Mhm.
We're going to get together and we're going to break down even further what we just did here, but we're going to give you some experiential pieces to it. So we might
Yes.
meditate together. We might have some
Yes.
further exercises for you to do where you get to dive deeper into, we're going to do that work together, dive deeper into the best summer ever. And you get to embody that. And it's totally free. So we'll post the link below this video. It's just a simple Zoom registration link for the page. You can come and join us on Zoom. You can follow us on social media over on Facebook. And we have so many things going on over there on the regular, but that's where we're going to be live streaming the best summer ever event. You can come and join us in the Zoom room. It's going to be so much fun. It's going to be more of this, but we're going to go deeper into each segment and give you some practices so that you can really get the vibe, get the feeling, take some action, get the ball rolling. So we're not just like sitting around talking about having the best summer ever, that you're actually going to go do something about it. All right. Anything you want to add?
This is the way for you to live that, right?
Mhm.
To live that. That's all we're saying. If you could come to join us, you'll find the practices to allow you to live that, to have that be your experience, actually, not just something that you're sitting there imagining and then, well, that was a good idea.
Mhm.
No, let's make that idea into something real, right? That's how we do it. Yeah.
Exactly. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for joining us. We are so grateful for being here with you. Thank you for being here with us. We'll see you soon.